welcome. Thank you for attending. Just to give you a heads up, this meeting is being recorded, so just know that if you put your face on, it'll be in the recording. So just to give you a heads up on that. We have Dan. Dan, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. Hey, everyone. My name is Dan Drellinger. I'm an assistant baseball coach here at Cerro Coso. I'm also have a role in the academic support side of the college as well in helping our athletes succeed academically.
And I am Ashley Thompson. I'm the program technician with the counseling department at Cerro Coso. I also work with the athletes doing the onboarding process, scheduling appointments, giving workshops. And then we also have Fabian on the line. Fabian.
Hey guys, my name's Fabian. I'm one of your educational advisors. We also have Tim in the line, so I'll let Tim introduce himself.
Hey everybody, I'm staying muted because it's noisy at my house with 3 children running around and a crazy hysterical wife, but who thinks I'm home working for her. Anyway, I'm the student athletic counselor. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. And I work closely with Fabian and Ashley coordinating our education plans for all of our athletes and making sure everybody stays in compliance for eligibility.
So we are going to start by just kind of reviewing some procedures, some info about participating in athletics, expectations as a student, expectations as an athlete. And then we have various staff from Cerro Coso here just for when we get to the Q&A question at the end that are here to support you in answering questions that you may have. So during the presentation, we're just going to go ahead and go through. If you want to go ahead and put your questions in the chat section when we get to that Q&A, that's when we'll go ahead and make sure that we get those answered for you. So we can go ahead and start. Dan, if you want to go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go ahead and share a screen here so you guys can see what we're going to be looking at. Believe this is right. I need to grant myself access to allow it. Give me one moment. Ashley, it's saying that I won't be able to record the contents of my screen until I quit. So I imagine I probably don't want to quit now. Fabian, can you share the screen with the presentation on it?
I had it closed, but let me go ahead and do that real quick. If we could go ahead and just pause the recording, and then we'll just start when I pull it up.
Oh, is my screen sharing now?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. Everyone can see the introduction slide here. Okay. We'll just jump right in then. We've already made introductions. Just kind of want to give a overview of our athletic program, our athletic department, some of the offerings here at the college. So although we're a smaller college located in Ridgecrest, we do boast 5 sports, including women's soccer, women's softball, men's basketball, women's volleyball, and then of course men's baseball. Otherwise, I would not be sitting here. You know, all of our programs very competitive, very well run from a coaching standpoint, very well supported from an administration standpoint. You know, really a good opportunity to come continue your sport after high school and have an opportunity to earn both an athletic and an academic scholarship at the 4-year college or university level. Very proud of the sports that we do offer here. Tremendous support from the community. And like I said, the college as a whole. And a lot of the population that you'll find at Cerro Coso on ground is actually an athlete. Pretty easy to tell. There's a lot of us running around, which makes it fun. Flipping on the next slide here, we participate in the entire governing body is called the CCCAA, the California Community College Athletic Association. That's made up of somewhere plus or minus about 100 colleges in the state that offer athletic programs. We compete in a conference within that governing body called the Inland Empire Athletic Conference. That has schools kind of ranging from about an hour to about 3 hours from us in terms of travel, including College of the Desert, Barstow College, Chaffey College, San Bernardino, Victor Valley, Norco, a lot of community college similar to us, not too far away. Inland Empire it's a new conference that we've been put in, just kind of given our proximity to these other schools. I've been moved out of a previous conference before, so while it was the first year of the athletic conference, it's proved to be very competitive. A great conference for people to kind of showcase their skills and compete against one another on a pretty even level. All of our sports compete in these. Some of these schools don't offer baseball. For instance, the Norco Mustangs do not have a men's baseball program, so we will not see them. However, our women's soccer team will. So a little bit of variance in there, but for the most part, this is really where we compete day to day in our competitive seasons, whether that's in the fall, the winter, or the spring. We're very, very fortunate to have the facilities that we do. Most people don't think of how pretty it really is up here in the desert and how green it is on our outdoor fields. The baseball field being there on your left, our soccer field and kind of the track area up there in the middle. The basketball gym is probably one of the best gyms that I've stepped foot in. In kind of my time in athletics, it's just a wonderful building. We're very lucky to have a large weight room, as you can see on the bottom left, that both the general population and student athletes have available to use for them. Most places don't have a weight room of our size that allows as many athletes or students in there as we do, and that's a big selling point, or a big kind of a benefactor to our program is having access to this. In the middle, you'll see kind of one shot of the training room. We are very blessed to have a woman named Lo Stender, who is our athletic trainer. There is nobody better in the business than Lo at what she does and the support that she offers to our student athletes. She's just a joy to be around and very, very talented in her field. And then on the far right, a cardio room that is also available to general population students as well as athletes, and a good opportunity for people that are rehabbing or need kind of a different kind of exercise regimen to use the treadmills, the bikes, the row machines. So very fortunate to have that at our disposal. The thing that did not make it on here is our softball field. That's my mistake. Our softball field is located just behind our baseball field. Again, another facility that we are blessed to have at the junior college level that I would put, basically on par with any of the colleges around. A big, again, kind of as I mentioned, a big part of coming to junior college, I like to think of it as an athlete, is that you're placing a bet on yourself, that you are going to get better at your craft, better in the classroom, and really earn an opportunity to move on to the next level. And it's not just what takes place on the field. It's actually a lot more of what takes place off the field, outside the lines, or off the court, if you will, that is really going to help you move on and earn some money from a scholarship standpoint to go. So we've been fortunate to send student athletes all across the country from Cerro Coso, whether that's Little Rock, Arkansas, whether that's just southwest of us down at San Diego State, in Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois. I mean, the footprint of where the Cerro Coso Coyotes go to after Ridgecrest is impressive. But most of that cannot be done if we don't really kind of take pride in how we not just play on the field, but how we operate in the classroom and how we carry ourselves in the community. A big part of helping our student athletes get recruited to the next level is really making sure that they have high character, high marks in the classroom, and obviously the physical ability to go play. So we've had softball players move on this last year, soccer players move on, baseball players, basketball, and it's a really fun environment to be in the junior college level, because not only do you get to recruit and help bring in new student athletes to Cerro Coso, you also get to help them find their next home. So it's a very kind of a special place to be in our kind of realm of college athletics, and a lot of money to be had from a scholarship standpoint. But I think what you'll find, and why we're on the phone today or the Zoom call today with counseling and the athletic support or academic support side of this is because the majority of your money, no matter how talented you are at your sport, is going to come by way of your academic standing. And that is the way that the majority of our athletes move on, is by doing well in the classroom. And that really kind of brings me to my last point that really sums it up. We like to say that you're a student athlete, not an athlete student. Student does come first in that equation. Student is the most important in that equation. And that's for one very simple reason. Everybody's sport will end at some point. It may be today. It may be in a couple of weeks. It may be in a couple of years if you're lucky to continue that far. But at the end of the day, the education that you receive, while playing your sport is going to pay dividends in the long run compared to just the physical ability to step out on the field or the court. So a big part of what we do at Cerro Coso is make sure that the student does come first and the athlete second. And the support system that we have in Tim and Fabian and Ashley here is really the reason why we are able to do that. And I like to think of them as kind of the glue that keeps us all together. Without them, without the services that they offer to our students, the plans that they put in place, which they will get into, our student athletes do not move on to the next level and do not get to pursue their education to the level that they probably that they want to. So it's very important. Really, to kind of sum all that up, we have an excellent athletic offering here, an excellent athletic department with support across the board. But at the end of the day, we're taking students and allowing them to continue their career as an athlete and hoping that we get to move them on and see to their academic success in the future. So I will hand it over. I'll certainly check in for questions to see if there's anything I can answer specifically from the coaching side. But really the meat and potatoes and the important part of this are the resources that are available to you through Ashley, Tim, and Fabian. So I will hand it to them to take over.
I could take on the next piece, just highlighting some of the fundamentals as a student athlete. This is a screenshot of the athlete orientation. We host the orientation twice throughout the year. So we'll have one late August, and then we'll have one around January for a lot of our students. What does it really mean to be a student athlete? It just means you have more responsibility. It traditionally means that you represent the college on and off campus during school hours, during in season and off season. So we try to drill pretty hard with our students that like the way you carry yourself really, it speaks to a lot of volume. So putting a lot of the responsibility on our students and teaching them these fundamental skills of respect is very important. The other part to that is that given that we're such a small community, a lot of our local high school students and elementary school students, middle school students really look up to our student athletes. We're pretty isolated in regards to the closest other towns. So you become, a thing to do on the weekend so we can watch you play. So we really enjoy that. And then the other part to that is as a student athlete, you get to work, like Dan mentioned, with besides your coach and Lo and the various other athletic staff, you really get to work with Tim, Ashley, and I. There's a difference in regards to what an educational advisor does and what a counselor does. So we'll bore you with those details during the orientation, but for the most part, it's just being mindful that we're here to help. We're here to help you and guide you and get you in and out and graduated as soon as possible. Let's see the other slide. So in regards to athletic eligibility, there's been a couple changes given the current climate, but for the most part, as a student athlete, you'll meet with Tim and I, and you'll be able to enroll in at least 12 units. 12 units at the community college level will look like anywhere between like 3 to 5 classes. You will be in your conditioning class for that specific sport every term. So the baseball practice class, and then in the spring you would take your baseball conditioning class and the baseball class. So a lot of the times our students we want to teach you the fundamental skills so that you're able to look for these things yourself, but it's definitely very highly important that you check with Tim and I, just because we've run into issues with suggestions or just courses that you've taken that we're waiting on a transcript for. So just being mindful that anytime you want to make changes to your schedule, to definitely talk to Tim and I and your coach as well. So we're all aware of what works best. The other slide, please. So this is just some basic contact information. It's always good to reach out to us via email since we're all working remotely. But feel free to reach out to us. If you get a phone number, or if you get a call from a 760 number, please answer it. It's not a political call. It's the Cerro Coso Counseling Department. It's usually Ashley trying to schedule those appointments with you or us following up. If you go to the last slide, do we have any questions so far? No? Okay. Ashley, did you want to share your screen, or were there?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and jump in now just because we have to talk about next steps as far as getting transitioned over to attending Cerro Coso. So let me go ahead and share the screen here. Can everyone see that? All right.
I think Dan needs to. There we
Stop
go.
share. Perfect.
There we go.
Are we good?
Yes. So go ahead and press the present.
Yeah.
And we'll go.
Okay. So pretty much if you're interested in sport, you are going to be getting in contact with the coach of that sport. And if you let us know in the chat box, if you want to either message Dan privately or just put it in there if you don't mind others knowing what sport you're interested in, we can get that coach's contact information to you. Once you talk to the coach, then he is going to be contacting me with your information, and I'm going to be giving you a call just to make sure that you're going through the next steps, just making sure that you're getting things done that that we require just for you to attend Cerro Coso. So those steps, and we're just going to go brief over it because I would be calling you personally, and your situation may be a little bit different. So I'm just going to give a brief overview of this. And for the sake of time, we want to make sure that there's time to answer your questions. So the first step is applying to Cerro Coso. If you're able to do this on your own, great. If you need assistance, that's fine. I'll be giving you a call. So if you need me to be there with you just to answer questions regarding the application on the phone, I can. If there's any issues with your applications, contacting me and letting me know, I can go ahead and contact our admissions and records office and try to get that figured out for you. Also requesting your transcripts. We need high school transcripts. We're going to need transcripts for any college courses, or if you're coming from college, we'll need those transcripts. And then also any AP scores. We're going to need those official scores just because we need to ensure that you have proper placement in the courses. So we want to make sure that you're taking courses that you need and making sure you're not wasting time taking a course that you could already be getting credit for. Completing your financial aid application, I check in on that with you. If you've already done it, then just making sure we're there as the primary school. If you haven't done it yet, putting us as the primary school, using the school code 01011. If you're having any current issues with financial aid, please give them a call at the 6221 number. They are specialists on the application. So while I can give you some general info, there are specialists such as Pedro Santiago. He's actually on the Zoom today. So just getting in contact with financial aid, they can answer specific questions for you regarding that application. Also emailing, sometimes it's quicker to get an email back just because we're all kind of off campus working remotely now, so it may be quicker just to email to get those answers. Next is me checking on your residency, just whether you're a California resident or an out-of-state resident. If you are a California resident, just giving you information regarding the California Promise Grant. If you apply for that and you're approved, they could pay for your courses. So it doesn't hurt to at least give you the link for that application to see if you are eligible. If you are out of state or in state, I'm also reviewing the tuition and fee info with you just because those amounts are different. And then also trying to get you links to scholarships and connecting you with financial aid. And just as a heads up, this October, I believe, and Peter, if you can confirm later on, we have an application opening that if you apply with this one application, it submits to 50 local scholarships. So you'll have a chance for those scholarships. So just know that extra funding may be available to you if that's a concern at all for you. And I wanted to take a bit today just to talk about resources, especially with the COVID situation going on right now. A lot of students have had to make some adjustments when it comes to completing their schooling. And also these are resources that athletes in particular have found useful. So just checking in to Navigate. That is our student platform. It's pretty much a program that assists you in managing your college experience a little bit easier. You can access that through your desktop. And if you want me to show you how, I can do that during the Q&A section. And then also we have apps. So if you were to type in Navigate Student in the Google or Apple Store, you'll be able to pull that app up and download it. On there is a list of resources. That's why this is posted in this section. There is an extensive list of resources on there. And it's not just for the IWV campus. If you're in Bishop area, Tehachapi, there's various resources on there. So you can go ahead and browse that and see if there's anything that you could utilize. We also have the Hunger Free Campus. Cerro Coso started this just to address the food insecurity that some of our students were experiencing. Usually there's a monthly distribution, but just because of the social distancing and the fact that we're working remotely, what we're asking is that you email the student services at cerrocoso.edu if you have any needs. And then also just to give a heads up, when the campus opens, and I'm crossing my fingers at least by this fall, we also have a student activity center. So you can go in there and you can get some snacks. They have like top ramen in there, some granola bars, some water and juices and stuff. So just know if you're on campus and you're getting hungry, the Hunger Free Campus has you covered. We also have the Cerro Coso Promise Scholarship. And if you have more questions on that, like I said, Pedro is on the line. He can go ahead and answer those during the Q&A. But just general info, this is open to for applicants in the area of the Kern Community College District. So if you reside in that service area, you are open to apply for that. If you aren't, let's say you're an out-of-state student, or let's say that you haven't lived in this area, after your first semester, you then are considered a resident in the area and then can try to get the scholarship by applying. There are, of course, other eligibility requirements. So I'll be providing a link afterwards for you to access that. In fact, I'll be providing links to all these resources in the chat box during the Q&A. And you can, the kind of important part is that you can receive up to $1,000 per semester if you are approved for the scholarship. So just keep this in mind. And then also tutoring. It's a great resource just to have that support, but even now, a lot of students have had to transition from on campus to online. And a lot of students take on campus because they need that in person, they want that hands-on. So right now, sometimes students are finding that there's a bit of a struggle. Getting that tutoring and that extra support during this time to ensure that you're as successful as you possibly can be is super important. So just know that you can apply for tutoring online. And like I said, I'll be getting you that link. We also have a COVID-19 student resources webpage at cerrocoso.edu. So this is just a list of department contacts. There's also resources on there, and there's a little bit of info on those resources, such as the laptop loan program that we have started. We're going to go to the next section. So as Fabian stated, you'll be completing an athlete orientation. We also need you to do a general student orientation, but this can be completed like ASAP as soon as you get your student number. You just go to the website. I would be getting you that link to that. And then as stated before, log in and navigate, get a little bit familiar with it. I'm running into some athlete recruits that are still undecided on their major, and that's totally normal. So if you're finding that you're undecided, you can go to Navigate and complete the Major Explorer, and it'll suggest majors that we offer that fit your career interests. Last but not least, we'll schedule you an appointment with our Fabian, our athlete educational advisor, and Tim, our athletic counselor. So pretty much those are the steps. You'd be meeting with them and they'd be reviewing all that good educational info with you. That is my section. So I guess that we can move on to the Q&A if anyone doesn't have anything to add. No, we're good? All right, so we'll go ahead and go to the Q&A now, and we can check the chat. So let me see if there's any. So I don't see any current questions in the chat.
We've had one that was sent privately to me about getting back into athletics.
Okay.
And that was from Aaron Grimes. He said that he had to step away just about a minute ago, and I told him that I would follow up and have a conversation about the baseball program with him. So he was interested, but I believe had to step away.
Okay. Do any other Cerro Coso staff want to elaborate on anything? Is there any information that you feel wasn't in the presentation that maybe students should have a heads up on?
The one thing I did want to add was regarding the study hall hours. So traditionally we would have you meet with your team and go to tutoring and study as a group, but we may have to make adjustments to the study hall. So just look out for that information. And then one just clarifying point regarding residency. Establishing residency is pretty important, especially if you're paying out of state tuition. So your first year will be a little bit expensive, but the goal is to, as soon as you get an address in California, and after a year and 1 day establishing and showing residency, then we could go ahead and hopefully for fall of 21 or a year and a day later, we're able to switch the tuition rate to that of a California student rate, and then thus qualifying for local scholarships. So we'll go into those details during athlete orientation, and then we'll keep you posted on any new updates regarding study hall.
I just wanted to provide my information. I put it on the chat contact just because I am the financial aid technician who processes the financial aid for the student athletes. So if you have any questions or concerns, whether that's about federal aid, state aid, scholarships, just given the complexity of some situations that arise in financial aid, it's best for them just to contact me directly, and I'll be able to help them as soon as possible.
Can I add something here? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I just want to say thanks to Ashley and Dan and Fabian for all the great information you're providing. I think this is a great service for our athletes. And I just want to reiterate like what Fabian was saying about communicating with us. We're here as your support team. We're here to help guide you on your athletic and your academic path. And I think the best way for us to help you to be successful is for you as an athlete to stay connected with us, your support team. As a student athlete, like Dan was saying, academics first, your student comes first. You got to be proactive in your academic future. And then like Dan said, when you leave here, you'll have a quality education that you're going to take with you. So just, stay connected to Ashley, to Fabian, to your coaches, to me, reach out to us so we can help you to be successful on your path.
So go ahead and maybe just wrap it up. All of our contact information will be available on our website. It would be cerrocoso.edu, student services, admissions, and athletes. But the links are also in the chat, so feel free to reach out. You guys stay safe, wash your hands, and hopefully we'll see you this fall.